Hi everybody, I'm back for another story time. I hope you did something fun yesterday. Maybe you colored that picture with all the colors like we talked about. But last night, I have to admit that I finally watched Frozen 2 and it was so good. I would watch it again tonight. Maybe that's what I'll do. These are the things that preschool teachers do when they don't have anything else going on, is they watch kids' movies that they're supposed to have watched already. So, yesterday we read The Day the Crayons Quit and talked about all the different colors that you might have in your box of crayons. Today we're reading Harold and the Purple Crayon by Crockett Johnson. And it's about a little boy named Harold, and I think purple is his favorite color because you will see he uses his imagination and he draws all kinds of things in purple. Okay. One evening, after thinking it over for some time, Harold decided to go for a walk in the moonlight. There wasn't any moon, and Harold needed a moon for a walk in the moonlight. So what did he draw? He drew one himself. And he needed something to walk on. He made a long, straight path so he wouldn't get lost. And he set off on his walk, taking his big purple crayon with him. But he didn't seem to be getting anywhere on the long, straight path. So he left the path for a shortcut across a field, and the moon went with him. The shortcut led right to where Harold thought a forest ought to be. He didn't want to get lost in the woods, so he made a very small forest with just one tree in it. When you're using your imagination, you can make anything happen, and here we are. He thought he needed a tree, so he drew his own. It turned out to be an apple tree. The apples would be very tasty, Harold thought, when they got red. And right now they're purple. I'm not sure what a purple apple would taste like. I've had green apples and red apples and yellow apples, but not purple. So he put a frightening dragon under the tree to guard the apples. It was a terribly frightening dragon. Now look at Harold's face. Does he look a little nervous about that dragon too? It even frightened Harold. He backed away. His hand holding the purple crayon shook. So look what's happening to that line. It went from a nice smooth straight line to a bumpy line. Suddenly, he realized what was happening, but by then Harold was over his head in an ocean. He came up thinking fast, and in no time he was climbing aboard a trim little boat. He quickly set sail, and the moon sailed along with him. After he had sailed long enough, Harold made land without much trouble. He stepped ashore on the beach, wondering where he was. So here he drew his boat, an anchor so that the boat wouldn't float away, and he drew some land so that he could get out. The sandy beach reminded Harold of picnics, and the thought of picnics made him hungry. So he laid out a nice, simple picnic lunch. When I think of picnic, I might think of like a sandwich, some chips or something, but let's see what Harold made. There was nothing but pie, but there were all 9 kinds of pie that Harold likes best. So Harold doesn't just have one kind of pie that he loves, he has 9 favorite kinds of pie. A lot of pie. Pie is good, so it might not be hard to have 9 favorites. When Harold finished his picnic, there was quite a lot left. He hated to see so much delicious pie go to waste. Looks like he's starting to draw something else. So Harold left a very hungry moose and a deserving porcupine to finish it up. And off he went, looking for a hill to climb to see where he was. Harold knew that the higher up he went, the farther he could see, so he decided to make the hill into a mountain. If he went high enough, he thought, he could see the window of his bedroom. He was tired and he felt he ought to be getting to bed. He hoped he could see his bedroom window from the top of the mountain. Look how high he's going now. But as he looked down over the other side, he slipped. And there wasn't any other side of the mountain. He was falling in thin air. See that? But luckily, he kept his wits and his purple crayon. He made a balloon and he grabbed onto it. That's some quick thinking, Harold. And he made a basket under the balloon big enough to stand in. He had a very fine view from the balloon, but he couldn't see his window. He couldn't even see his house. So he made a house with windows, and he landed the balloon on the grass in the front yard. None of the windows was his window. He tried to think where his window ought to be. He made some more windows. He made a big building full of windows. He made lots of buildings full of windows. He made a whole city full of windows. But none of the windows was his window. He couldn't think where it might be. He decided to ask a policeman. Since he's using his imagination, what did he draw? He drew a policeman. The policeman pointed the way Harold was going anyway, but Harold thanked him. As he walked along with the moon, wishing he was in his room and in bed. And he walked along with the moon, wishing he was in his room and in bed. You know, when you get really tired at night, you just want to go to bed. Then suddenly, Harold remembered. He remembered where his bedroom window was when there was a moon. It was always right around the moon. And then Harold made his bed. He got in it and drew up the covers. The purple crayon dropped on the floor, and Harold dropped off to sleep. The end. Now, Harold's favorite color was purple. Do you have a favorite color? I have lots of favorite colors. It's too hard for me to decide what I like best. I like dark red, I like dark green, I like dark blue, I like dark purple. It's kind of nice to have lots of different favorite colors, but you should try to make your own picture with just one color. Maybe if you have 3 favorite colors, you'll make 3 different pictures with just one color and see if you can use your imagination what you might come up with. Harold drew a moose eating pie and a porcupine eating pie, and he drew a fierce dragon defending an apple tree, and he drew a boat, and he drew a mountain, drew so many different things, and 9 kinds of pie. Let's see if you can think of what you might want to draw. All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.